Our leader, Blair Blackwood, would want to have his own dictatorship country, as he got his inspiration from other countries who has successfully led a country solely by using their own extraordinary power. Thus, Blair Blackwood is planning to make our country, Avalon, into a dictatorship country, which is based off military power and having control over a territory. Therefore, in order to establish a country, we form our very own party, which is Avalon Fascist Party. Thus, our dictator Blair Blackwood has assigned tasks for everyone in the party to help him in making his plan of forming a dictatorship country. The Avalon Fascist Party has decided in order to establish a country, it must have three main elements, which is firstly is the process of forming the Avalon. Next is the characteristic of the country Avalon, and lastly is how the Avalon operates in terms of policy and law-making aspect.
Let us go to the Supreme Hall of Avalon and meet Mr. Blair Blackwood.
Hello there, I am Mr. Blair Blackwood. Welcome to Avalon. We are just about to start the meeting. If you wish to join, please have a seat. Now, shall we start, everyone? Alright then, Miss Nazatul, tell me, how can I make this country the best country ever existed?
Pertaining to this matter, I've done a lot of research on forming a dictatorship country. Thus, I think that our country Avalon could take some inspiration from it. What I noticed is the forming of a dictator-based country is pretty similar. Thus, I would like to suggest a few ways to make Avalon a very successful dictatorship country. I'd like to suggest the first method of forming a dictatorship country. First thing first, I think we could implement the idea of cult. By this, I mean we could spread some kind of religion or ideology towards them, and those who believe it, they'll become our followers. And by doing this, it is making it easier for our leader, Blair Blackwood, to become a dictator and to take control of the whole country. But those who are against it, they will be killed because we already have a large number of believers who will support us and do whatever we say. The next method that I would like to suggest is by omnipresence. Omnipresence is the state of being widespread or constantly encountered. When our dictator Blair Blackwood has gained more powers and believers, we can use mass media in order to make him an omnipresence to secure the power, such as we could spread propaganda and advertise the leader face in social media, radio, or even on the streets. Not to mention that we could also have a television channel to only view of the dictator as a good person and brainwash them in that other countries as bad people. That's all from me. I think Miss Farah has a lot of suggestions in order to form our country Avalon as a great dictatorship country. Thank you.
Next, I would suggest Avalon to enforce an enforcement of public worship. From here, Blair Blackwood should make a requirement for the public to worship him, or else the citizens of Avalon will face severe punishment. As example, Blair Blackwood should ensure all the citizens of Avalon to bow to his giant statue on the street every time they walk past, and do a significant gesture so they can prove their loyalty to Blair Blackwood ideology and dictatorships. From here, Avalon can attain the goal as it can get more support and power. In short, forcing people to praise the leader itself in the public make it harder for the citizens of Avalon to try and take down Blair Blackwood. From here, they will have the sense of fear to disobey the greater leader of Blair Blackwood. My last suggestion is having a reasonable punishment for those who disobey. In dictatorship-based country, of course, there will be some of people who are not going to support you, and your nation might facing a treason. Therefore, in order to keep them in line and avoid this problem, everyone should make a severe, or I might say reasonable punishment for those who dare to overtake Blackwood. This method or implementation can be used by every dictator country, as the most severe punishment is death. This is because as the citizens become more and more submissive, the dictator usually imply more severe punishment towards them. By doing so, it will increase the cause effect, increases the terror, so it is solidified ever-long rule on dictatorships.
The leader of the country appoints all heads of government, and the people have no say at all. This also means that the people have no say in what laws they will live by. If they hate the leadership and also the laws, nothing can the citizens do except try to live with it. The government chooses the religion that you practice, and you can be punished if you don't follow the law. The government also decided what information a person receives and often uses propaganda to control this. When it comes to personalized, the citizens of dictatorship have none. Everything is controlled in dictatorship, and the leaders often uses propaganda. This means that the leader of the country cannot allow the citizens to get a glimpse of what things are really like in the rest of the world. They prohibit any freedom of expression, association, or religion. The media is tightly controlled, with only a small number of people in the government and academia having access to the global internet.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Blackwood. I want to report to you an incident that happened last night in North Avalon. The villagers caught a boy who stole an apple from an orchard. What shall we do with him, sir? So he stole an apple? That is such a disgraceful action. Execute him. We have no choice. We might not know what else is he capable of stealing in future. Please, arrange his death penalty as soon as possible.
It's true, sir. To execute the kid was the right thing to do. After all, you are the supreme leader of Avalon. We do not need a parliamentary process to wait for any decisions. You have the power of judicial, legislative, and even executive body. Sir, all you need to do is simply by issuing an order. No one can oppose you because after all, you are the Lord's son.
The leader sometimes would include the military powers or officers in a decision making, whether as an advisor within cabinets or as a member of the military council. The command doesn't have any say in what becomes the law. It is up to the leader of the dictator itself.
So, the poor little boy who actually stole the apple because he has been starving for 3 days was sentenced to death. No one can oppose Mr. Blackwood's command. There is not even an opposition party in a dictatorship system. When there is no check and balance, many things can go wrong.
Alright then, I guess that is all for our meeting today. Thank you everyone. And thank you to you two for joining us today. I hope that you now know more about dictatorship and our country, Avalon. Have a good day. Goodbye.